All right, so another thing we can do with exponential functions is to simplify them because sometimes they can look really, really complicated and intimidating, but we can actually still simplify them so they're not as difficult to deal with. So, for example, if I have something like x cubed over x squared, and let me make this a little bigger. I'm just going to go ahead and expand it so you can kind of see what's going on. So the top, the numerator, can be expanded into x times x times x, right? X multiplied by itself 3 times. And then the denominator can be expanded into x times x. So multiply by itself twice. So hopefully this is something you know, but if not, just make sure we understand this, that any number divided by itself, so quick note, any number divided by itself is equal to 1. Because we're essentially asking how many of these numbers, like let's say we have something like 3 divided by 3, right? We're essentially asking how many 3's are in 3. Well, there's just one group of 3 in a group of 3, okay? So any number divided by itself is 1. So we can actually split this up and we can see, look, we have an x divided by an x right here. So I'm going to highlight that in yellow. X divided by x. Oh, I don't know why it's not highlighting. Not sure why it's not highlighting, but okay. So we have an x divided by an x right here, and then another x divided by an x, and then we just have one x left over on the top. So actually, what we can do is we can write this as, so we can write this, and we can see that this x divided by this x, so this x divided by this x, well, a number divided by itself is always equal to 1. So x divided by x just becomes 1. So I can make that into a 1. X divided by x is again equal to 1. So we're really left with 1 times x. Okay? So this is really 1 times 1 times x. And any number times 1 is just itself. So 1 times 1 is 1, and 1 times x is just x. So this complicated looking expression of x cubed over x squared can actually just be simplified to x. Okay? So whenever you see anytime you can break up an exponent and simplify numerators and denominators, that would be a really good thing to do because you can kind of simplify your expression a little bit. So I'm going to show you another example and then I'm going to have you practice some. So why don't you go ahead and copy the notes here and pause the video to make sure you write them down and understand them. And then play the video once you're finished for the next example. So another example we can do is with different variables. So I've been using the variable x so far, but you can see here we have a variable m, we have a variable y. We can use any letter of the alphabet as a variable. It doesn't have to be x. It just represents some number that is not determined yet. Okay, so let me do another example. Let's say I do something like 5x squared times y to the 6th. oops, over x to the fifth times y squared. Okay, so now a little more complicated, looks kind of scary as an expression, but we'll try to get through this together. Okay, so again, might be helpful to expand this. We'll start with the top. We just have a 5. We know x squared is x times x. So we have a 5 times an x times another x. And then we have 6y, so times y times y times y times y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and one more. And on the bottom we have 5 x's. Just going to do the x's first. Okay, and then we can do the same thing we did here. Find out where we can divide out the same numbers and simplify them to 1. So I can see I have an x divided by x, so that becomes 1. Oh, I'm sorry, I totally forgot the y squared right here. So we also need a times y times y. Sorry about that. Okay, anyway, so we have an x divided by an x, another x divided by an x, that also simplifies to 1. No more x's cancel out. Now we can look at our y. So we have a y divided by a y right here. That goes into 1. Then we have another y divided by a y right here. Cancels out, turns into 1. So we have a 5 times 1 times 1 times y times y times y times y divided by x times x times x. And we can simplify this back to 5 times 1, 2, 3, 4 y's being multiplied by themselves, so y to the 4th, divided by 3 x's being multiplied to itself. So x times x times x is x cubed. So this kind of complicated looking expression can be simplified to 5y to the 4th over x cubed. So go ahead, pause the video here, write these notes down, and then when you're finished, keep the video playing, and then I will have you do some practice problems with this. Okay, so for you in your notebook, I'd like for you to go ahead and do these practice problems. I'm going to give you an expression, and I would like for you to use this fact that any number divided by itself is equal to 1 to simplify some exponential expressions, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and give you 4 problems. And in your notebook, I want you to simplify these 4 expressions as much as you can. If you need help, you can message me on DreamSeeDo or ask me in workshop. But then when you're finished, take a photo of your work and upload it on DreamSeeDo.